So what is up, guys? Welcome back to the More Nick Ackerman channel, and I want to do a quick video comparison between the Unihertz Titan 2 and the all-new Titan 2 Elite, which actually isn't going to be available until about June, but we do have a pre-release unit. Thanks to Unihertz for sending this out. They also sent this one out last year, but this is the latest version, and I had a lot of questions in my initial review of this phone right here. It kind of like compared to the original one. So I figured, well, let's just do a quick comparison and talk about a few of these areas. The very first one that I want to talk about is the QWERTY keyboard, because a lot of people were saying, well, you know, this new phone has a little bit more of a compact keyboard. It kind of defeats the purpose of a QWERTY keyboard if it's going to be so compact I can barely type. But I think you'd be a little bit wrong in thinking that you're not going to be able to type as well, because if you take a look at the way there's like these little curves here within the keyboard itself, it actually makes it easy to feel out each individual key. So I didn't show a super close-up like this in the initial review, but you can see they're angled like that, and it makes it pretty easy to fill out the key. Now, taking a look at the very first Titan 2 right here keyboard, you'll see that this one right here definitely is much wider. So side to side, the keyboard is much wider. The keycaps are also a bit bigger, but the thing is that it just really depends on your hand size. Like if you have huge hands, you might prefer this. If you have smaller fingers, you might prefer this. But at the same time, I have pretty big hands, and I tend to prefer the Elite 2, the one that's out right here. And that is because I like, for a QWERTY phone, the whole point of it to me is to not be distracted, to really just focus on emails, focus on just quick productivity tasks. And I like the compact feel, even though that keyboard is definitely a little bit smaller. I also do like how easy it is to hold this new Elite and just kind of swipe through over here, kind of scroll on the keyboard. And then when you type, because of the compact feel, it's actually pretty easy to bump your thumbs, but you'll kind of get used to it, and then you just feel out the keys. And I also think the placement of the home button here, the back button, and the space, you'll see also right here, the Alt key. I think these are actually in better locations than up here. It's just a little bit strange to kind of go up there for the home button. I would like it to be kind of like down here where I'm already typing. So I prefer where this one is, because I can just be like typing something. Hold on, let me show you a quick example. So let's go to keep right here, and we'll go ahead and open up text field. And hey, I'm typing, hold on. I'm typing here, and I'm not the fastest, so let's just get it that way. I usually use touchscreen, so I still got to get quicker myself. But this is a nice keyboard, and the angles of those keys with those little divots in there, you'll definitely see, they definitely make it a lot easier to feel it out. But as I'm typing here, it's actually easy to just kind of like bring that thumb right there naturally and come back home. So I do prefer that. Now over here on the Titan 2, let's go over here. One thing I like about the Titan 2 though is that the Titan 2 does have a bigger screen. So it is a 4.5 inch. However, hey, let me see this. Hey, I'm typing, and these keys actually don't feel as, they feel a little bit mushier to me, honestly, on the Titan 2. And they feel a lot like more spaced out. But when I come up here, it's just coming home like or something, it's just, that key is just not quite as natural to come up here to go home. So I actually think the new keyboard, once you get used to it, I think it's actually a better keyboard overall. But for some people, they're going to just be like, nah, bro, this guy, nah, the keys are too small. But honestly, if we actually look really closely, they're not like that much smaller. It's really just that the Titan 2 is wider. The keyboard is just side to side. The whole phone itself is definitely wider. And that's the next thing I want to talk about, is the feel and hand difference. These phones couldn't be more apart. Honestly, the Titan 2 feels more like a concept phone that was brought to market. Still pretty cool, but even with this window, you have the screen on the back right here. So let's go ahead and tap that. You can change the clock. I thought that was pretty neat, but I don't feel like a lot of people are using rear screens on their phone, so I'm okay that they went away from that. But generally the phone just kind of feels more concept-like, even though it is the second version. And it was pretty good performer, but the Titan 2 Elite feels like a phone that's meant for now. It's meant to be brought to market. It feels more polished, a little bit more refined for sure. And the screen is just pretty cool looking with this little tiny bezel that goes around it. It just feels very like they just did a whole brand new upgrade that was just like really felt here, going from this phone to this phone. You can just definitely feel the difference. But I think somebody who likes a thick, strong, just very bold in your face type of phone, you might still prefer the Titan 2. Think BlackBerry Passport, like some of those bigger BlackBerry phones, and then the BlackBerry Curve. This is going to be the BlackBerry Curve over here. This will be the bold, or the one that's just a little bit thicker and bigger. That's going to be this one right here. I do miss this faux texture on the back of this phone though. They did go to aluminum chassis, which is more in line with the whole current market of phones. But this was kind of a unique take. I don't feel like they have to go back to it, but it was just pretty nice to feel something a little bit different. I did notice that they got rid of this Unihertz logo up here on the top, which I do like. They went to an all bezel, and having this thick area up here just looks pretty old comparatively to this. It's almost like they did like a 5-year upgrade in just like 1 year. So I like that advancement. This just looks pretty old right there. So this with the camera on the screen kind of looking like most phones, while I do prefer the camera to be inside of this bezel, having on the screen, not my favorite always, but having this almost all screen kind of feel up here on this compact QWERTY, it's pretty cool. Another area that is extremely noticeable between these two phones is the LCD and the OLED. Having an OLED display on a compact QWERTY phone just feels premium. It's not only more colorful and rich and vibrant. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it just looks sharper, more colorful. It just looks premium. It looks like pretty much any of the other flagship phones on the market, but just compacted down into this aspect ratio. So I really, really love the screen upgrade to OLED. That is a big deal, I think, overall. But over here on this phone, if you like an LCD panel, this is still a pretty accurate color panel, and everything looks pretty good overall. It's not really going to disappoint too many people. Generally, people tend to like LCD if they have issues with PWM. This one doesn't really have that issue though, because it does have a high PWM rate. It's like a 2160 Hertz PWM dimming, so it's not really going to bug too many people. But generally, this screen upgrade, even though it's a smaller size, it's still a quality upgrade. So I do think you'll still like it. One of the things about these phones though is that the Unihertz over here on the left, the Titan 2, does have a slightly older chipset, and it doesn't perform quite as well. Although the newer phone does give you the newer chip, it also gives you 12 gigabytes of RAM, and it's just quicker. And it felt that way immediately out of the box. So if you're looking for a just faster feeling phone overall, you're gonna really want to go with the Titan 2 Elite. This phone definitely does provide that with the 120 Hertz display. Over here on the Titan 2, you don't get the 120 Hertz, so it definitely just doesn't feel quite as smooth as this one on the right. So I do think that that is a big change for those people who want a faster scrolling speed, a faster phone. It just kind of feels that way. So the next area is going to be the cameras. Now, surprisingly, both of them are pretty darn solid, no matter which one you go with. But the Titan 2 Elite definitely has a little bit of a sharper, nicer result. It's pretty apparent immediately once you start taking photos, especially on that main sensor and the front-facing camera. So not a drastic upgrade, but still one nonetheless. And I know most people getting this are probably not going to be going for pure camera. That's like probably another main thing about this. But one of the areas where this is not such an upgrade is the battery. The Titan 2 has a larger battery, simply is a bigger phone, so they could squeeze a bigger battery in there. And that's definitely something you might miss when you go to this one. This is going to be a 4050 milliamp hour battery, so surely is going to be a little bit of a downgrade in terms of battery size and capacity. Now, both of these phones do come with pre-installed screen protectors out of the box, so you don't have to go look for those. You will find those on both of these here. They can bubble up if you hit it on the wrong angle, or put if you find a case, maybe a sleeve or something, they can do that. But at the end of the day, Both of them are protected out of the box with that. They both do have these nice aluminum frames right here, but the one on the Titan 2 Elite definitely feels a bit smoother around the edges. This is way sharper in the corners, but some people prefer that blocky rectangle square kind of feel. If that's you, you'll like the Titan 2. If you like a more rounded edge, you'll definitely prefer the Titan 2 Elite. And both of these do feature IR blasters to go ahead and turn on TVs, you know, set-top boxes, you name it, they got it. You'll see a speaker grill up there, and then this speaker grill is on the bottom over here. And also on the Titan 2, you'll see the SIM card tray is on the bottom of the phone, whereas it's housed on the left side of the Titan 2 Elite. So just a couple of differences there between these two phones. And on this side, you'll find a red key programmable, and you'll have a key right here, as well as power buttons on both of them, volume rocker. And this has two programmable keys on the left. This one on the left side does give you a volume rocker. So I feel like because the Titan 2 is just a much larger piece, they were able to squeeze more interesting features in there, including a larger screen, bigger battery, this rear display, two programmable keys. But here's the deal. This is the phone you're going to want to use more, the Titan 2 Elite, just simply because of its size. It's just pocketable, it's portable, and it kind of makes sense. This size makes more sense for this type of phone. Emulation is going to be really fun on both of them, but more so I think on this one right here, on the Titan 2 Elite, because of the OLED screen. The games are going to look beautiful. Over here, LCD is good for long sessions though, but I would prefer the Titan 2 if you're doing a lot of heavy use with it. If you're doing like lesser heavy use, you'll probably like the smaller and more compact, non-distracting Elite over here. So Titan 2, still an awesome choice, but this one has the latest version of Android. It's going to get updated longer because it is newer. And yeah, the size of the screen goes down, but it's a better screen. And you can actually get cases with this. If you were wondering, they're going to have available hard cases, you know, for the Titan 2 Elite, leather holsters. I'll leave a link to the Kickstarter for this phone down below. You can scroll through and check out all of that stuff, everything that comes in the box and all that good stuff. So that's it. I just wanted to do a quick follow-up comparison from my Titan 2 Elite video for those of you who had some questions about the phone. Any more questions, drop them down below. I'll try to get back, and if there's certain questions that require a video, maybe we'll do another video on these in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and also want to answer that quick question people keep asking, where do I buy it? You got to buy it on the Kickstarter. I'll send you a link down below, but it will be launching in June for like to be shipped out to backers. So you have to back the project. Go ahead and get yourself one. So do keep that in mind. If you want an Elite Pro, that's coming in October later this year. So this is the one that's going to be available initially. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.